What I have devised as a new way of communicating is a typing aid that allows a person to type all of the keys with one hand from a standard typing position without having to move the hand in a hunt and peck style. This would be helpful if a person has lost the use of one hand or the other and chooses not to use a dictating software package like Dragon Naturally Speaking because of the environment they are working in or for whatever reason. If one has already learned to type with two hands in a class where they teach what used to be called touch typing, then picking up this new style is remarkably easy and fun. For some reason, the brain is able to quickly adjust, and all it takes is to relax and let the force be with you. This one-handed typing aid involves writing macros to remap the keys under your fingers to the other side of the keyboard, so that when the control key is pressed, the macro does its thing. For example, if my left hand isn't working well and I wanted to try to type an F, which I would normally do with my left finger, my left index finger, I press the control key, which falls. I press the control key and then press the J key, which falls under my right index finger. Instead of a J being typed, the macro types an F. The control function is implemented with a foot switch. Like that. The cost to install the hardware and the software is pretty minimal. Creating the macros is repetitive but free if you are already using Microsoft Word. The hardware I am now using consists of a stealth switch FS2 available from Amazon for about $18. I'm also using a stealth switch 3 SS3 interface box that electronically creates and sends combinations of keystrokes to the processor when I press a switch. I first came up with this idea in the mid-80s working with WordPerfect 4.0. At that time, keyboards could be taken apart and wires soldered to pads underneath each key. However, I recently ruined a keyboard trying to tap off the control key from inside the keyboard. There may be a way to do it, and this would certainly be cheaper, but the Stealth Switch 3 box is faster and easier, though at a cost of about $60. Also, once one has the box, there are many other things that it can be used for. It can handle up to 5 different foot switches at once and simply plugs into a USB port. Software to program the box is downloaded from the company website and only takes a few minutes to program the desired strokes into the box. There is a simpler, cheaper box available, which may work, but I didn't try because one of the reviewers on Amazon said that the keystroke is just sent as a click and not as if the key were being held down. That sounded like it wouldn't work, so I didn't try it. This is the Stealth Switch Pro USB foot pedal, and that runs for $29.95, but I don't know if that would do what's needed because of that simply sending one click. To write a macro in Word 2013, I first clicked on File, then New, then Take a Tour, where I found that I could learn more at office.com. And simply type in create or run a macro. And this is the selection that will take you to running a macro on Windows, and down here when you have Word for Mac. And this is it. At that web page, I learned that I first click on View, and over on the far right I click on the Macros drop down, then Record Macro. In the Record Macro template, I name the macro for the key I want to have typed. In this example, I name it macro 5 because I want numeral 5 typed when I hit the control key in combination with numeral 8. Next, I click on the keyboard option . And this takes me to a new template called Customize Keyboard, where I type in the press the new shortcut key box. Next, I hold down the control key and type 8. Then I click on the Assign option, which takes me to the document with the cassette icon indicating that my next keystrokes will be what is typed when the macro is invoked. There's a little cassette icon here, if you can see it. So I just type one key, the numeral 5, and then go to the macros drop down and choose Stop Recording. Test your new macro by pressing the foot switch and typing 8. In this case, I'll just press the 5, or the control key, and press 8. And I get a 5. So the macro is working. Unless you make a mistake, that's what happens. At which point, if you do make a mistake, you can easily redo it by going through the same steps and accept the Replace Existing Macro option, which you saw flash on the screen earlier. The process is repeated for each key you want to remap, and that is all there is to it. All macros will be stored in the normal.dotm template. Let me just show you where it shows you that. Normal.dotm. That's store the macro in all documents. Normal.dotm. For convenience, I've placed a copy of the normal.dotm template I've created at my website, which is called StrictlyExperimental.com, all one word. 30 years ago, I found that my mind was quickly able to master the combination of keystrokes and foot pedal presses, allowing me to type almost as fast with one hand as with two. Relearning is taking a little longer now, but is still fun and doable. Also, while learning, you get instant feedback of your mistakes and successes. 5 minutes of practice repeated throughout the day will lead to amazing progress, all other things being normal. And along with this video, there will be another one showing Monty getting his first try at the keyboard with a foot pedal and using macros. Okay, thanks for watching. Hope you liked it. Now this is 5 minutes later. We've just been talking. Monty hasn't been practicing. His mind's already made some connections, and it's coming easier.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely can tell a difference in speed.
Try the quick brown fox again.
Okay. Quick brown fox jump over the what?
Lazy dog.
A lazy dog. Oops. Yeah. Yeah, definitely faster. Yeah, that's really neat.